It's not the it's not the comment. It's something that I was saying, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, did I go?
Question for you.
Go for it, buddy.
I can get a job as a VA nurse practitioner
Okay.
for like a 20% raise with a salary ceiling that is 85% if I work there for long enough. With everything going on in the government, do you think this is a smart move?
It depends on where you're at. I'm going to tell you why. The government is never going to cut money for that, for VA. They're going to do shakeups and they'll do DEI and shit like that and they'll whatever. But the government, the Democrats and Republicans disagree on everything except one thing: military and defense spending. They just want to fund different things. They always agree on that. Military industrial complex. Nobody wants to be responsible for, veteran stuff. Now, as somebody who's been to the VA and been in the system and understands it is a very, very mismanaged branch of the government. I don't know about other programs in the government, but the VA is heavily mismanaged. It is disgustingly mismanaged. And I think it's because nobody wants to go in there and structure it, because everyone's afraid that if one veteran loses benefits, then it's going to be a national story and it's going to be an election problem. Do Republicans care about military after their service is over? What the fuck? What can you not see? That's what I'm doing. I'm reading the dumbasses. I'm always reading the fucking brain dead people. So I'm just going to ignore that for now. The VA is heavily mismanaged. I'll give you an example. I can't speak on other programs in the government. I can't because I don't have enough knowledge. I'm not going to claim that the VA is the most mismanaged or whatever, but I'm going to give you an example. In my opinion, the VA is horribly, that's 2 R's, not whore, think about your mom, horribly mismanaged. And the government knows it. Congress is very aware. Congress knows. They know. For those who don't know what VA is, it's a Veterans Administration. It takes care of veterans. Congress knows that this is horribly mismanaged. They would save and take care of more veterans who actually need it and do it properly if they fixed it, but they don't want to fix it. The reason they don't want to fix it is if they go in and actually do what needs to be done to fix this, if one veteran loses their benefits, whether they deserve it or not, or one veteran is something happens, or there is, there's during the transition, like, a veteran gets moved to another hospital or something like that, where it's better care, whatever, they die on the way, it doesn't matter. One headline fucks up the election. As much as you're told to believe that every Republican has a hard-on for the military and every Democrat wants the military, hopes they get PTSD or some shit like that, that's not true. That's just algorithms. You guys are fed those algorithms. Most people don't support veterans or are happy to have, veterans, because veterans can be of World War II, even if they went to Vietnam. Most people understand that people who go in the military don't go so because they want to go fucking, invade another country and kill people, right? Like, that's not what they do. Most people join the military because honestly, the military is the best way, the easiest way and the best way to move from poverty to a higher class. I went from having no family, no parents, nothing, a children's home with nothing, went in the military, gave me, I made some money, I did, whatever, I had a skill I used on the outside and it moved me up, right? Like, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do that. Not that I'm telling people they should join the military, but whatever. Most people don't look at people in the military or veterans in a negative light. Now, some look at them a lot more, and it was turned out that the government was paying the NFL and a lot of other people's post 9/11 and post Iraq War a lot of money to push the support our troops narrative. And I'm a veteran. I'm a combat veteran, so we know that happened. But they don't want to fix the VA because they're afraid that during that transition somebody might lose out, something could happen, somebody's health care would go bad or whatever, and it would be an election disaster. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, even though that's stupid that you have to only have 2 parties. If your party did the fixing of this and a veteran died or a veteran got sick or somebody lost out and made national headlines, your opponent would use that against you nonstop. Because remember, no one votes for a good candidate anymore. No one votes for a candidate. They vote against the other one because everyone's trying to, afraid of the other party destroying the world in America, right? And that's what you're told, right? If the Democrat gets elected, it's going to be socialism and the immigrants are going to run wild and they're going to control you and they're going to force you to have their babies and they're going to take all your money and you're going to live in poverty and they're going to be the one, like whatever. And if a Republican gets it, they're gonna cut your dick off. They're gonna take your medicine from you. They're gonna put you in a camp if you're brown, and it's gonna be the KKK, having meetings and lynching everybody. Like that's how they do it. And if they get that fear, it makes you vote against that thing, right? So you're not voting for the best candidate, you're voting against the other person because you're in fear. And that's how we keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse candidates every year, because you don't have you're not voting for a good candidate. A party doesn't have to put forward a good candidate. They just have to put forward a candidate that's not as bad as this one. And the same thing happens each time. Well, this one's better than this one. Well, this one's better than this one. Well, this one's better than this one. And you just work your way down. Because you're no longer voting for somebody, you're voting against somebody, right? All right, let me finish this. All right, VA. How do we get from this from the VA? Okay, VA, horribly mismanaged. Congress knows about it. Congress will not fix it because it is absolutely a political suicide. I'll give you another example. This is going to be weird, but stay with me. Do you know that according to, and I'm not defending this in any way, but I want you to understand, if you were convicted of anything that, was, a sex offender thing, whether it was you were 19 and you had, early internet and you had pictures of somebody 16 or whatever, I'm not, again, whatever, don't get me wrong, it's not wrong, but that is the same label as somebody who was a violent sexual predator, right? You're both sex offenders for the rest of your life. Some people agree that that's a good thing. Some people say, hey, maybe there should be tiers here, right? Kind of like we have murder, like manslaughter and whatever like that. There should be tiers. Here's the crazy thing. I'm only talking about this because this is something that has been talked about with, and you guys fucking gotta understand, I'm explaining something. I'm not promoting or endorsing or, saying it's good or bad or whatever. Just hear me out. There are people out there that say those labels should be the same as well. But Congress and politicians don't even want to talk about it. Think about why. The moment you introduce a bill to say, hey, listen, somebody who did this years ago and it was a very, we considered not something like danger to society or anything like that, versus this guy who's like a fucking monster, maybe they shouldn't be classified the same. You can't talk about that. That's political suicide, right? There are certain things you can't touch if you're a politician. I'm bringing this up because this is something that was talked about a couple years ago. Okay, and this is not the stock guy saying, oh, you should or should. I'm explaining it. I have to repeat that because people fucking forget. This is political suicide. But the VA is so mismanaged that you know what they do. Do you want to know how they fix the VA? How does Congress fix the VA's problems? They throw more money at it. Why is this happening? Why don't we have enough money for this? Why is this going on? What's going on? Oh, shit. What, fuck, is there a problem there? Fuck, we probably look into this. Oh, we can't look into this. Can't look into this. Because then somebody's going to think we're trying to take away money from veterans. Oh, fuck, and then we'll never get elected. Oh, my God, shit, fuck, now what do we do? Just throw more money at it. You're throwing money into a wood chipper. That is the way that this works. I haven't looked at chat. I'll read chat later tonight so I can see what people are saying, because I know I'm going to get triggered if I do. Oh, so you're saying that women are all liars about this? Or somebody, why don't you believe it? No. Oh, so you're saying veterans, you're making this up. No, this is true. There are a lot. I don't have a number, but if I were to guess, I would say 25% of what's paid out in disability payments to veterans is probably not what's qualified based on what the VA wants, but they can't stop the program, or they can't reverse it. So you don't want to be looked at as the party or the politician who stopped giving benefits to veterans. Not only that, but the whole reason I'm on this is because one guy asked me if you should be a nurse there. I have some coverage to the VA. I could have applied for 100% and probably got it because it was easy to fucking do it at the time, but I refused to do it because I just can't fucking feel like a piece of shit if I did. I have a small percentage, and most of it's because of when you go to combat and you're in you actually whatever, and also burn pits and stuff like that, they give you a small percentage or whatever. It's nothing that's like a lot. It's just more for like some medical coverage, which is cool because it helps me out. But here's the thing. I get to talk to doctors and stuff like that, right? Like they have you talk to like, different doctors, like, about different things. Since COVID, I have had 8 different primary doctors. Okay? 8 since 2021. 8 different people. Do you want to know why the turnover ratio is so fucking high? This is one of the arguments some people use against government run healthcare and stuff like that. The Miami VA is a fucking clown show. It is a zoo. A lot of people, just so you know, guys, a lot of people that are homeless in America are veterans. It's very sad. People come back from come back from combat, come back from being in the military, and even if let's say some people go to combat and they have PTSD and they don't have treatment, they don't have family, they have no way of taking care of it, they lose their job, then they lose their house, and they're on the street. They don't get the right care. Also, another problem with the military is when you go into the military and you get that certain structure, you get in this life of knowing exactly where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, what you're supposed to do. This is when you're there. This is how you get there. This is your uniform. This is the way you walk. This is the way you make your bed. This is the way you do this. This is your job. When you're done, you do this. You got to be here. That's structure. You get out, there's no structure anymore. And you just don't know how to operate. And there's no, they're getting better now. When I got out, there was just a, hey, good luck. Now they're doing transition programs and stuff like that. But homeless people generally tend to go where the weather is better. The climate is better. Miami. A lot of homeless people are veterans. The Miami VA system is insane. I had to get an appointment with my rheumatologist because of the psoriatic arthritis, right? They were supposed to see me in November of 2 years ago. It was 3 months out. They called me 2 weeks before. After waiting 3 months, we have to reschedule till March. 6 months. I need an MRI, 6 months. Sleep clinic, 2 years. Why? They're overloaded. They're overloaded. So what could the VA do? Some of that tens of billions of dollars that are not being used, build a second hospital or community outreach. Now, here's the crazy thing. Here's the VA. I'm going to give you an anecdotal story. If you have something that is very dire in need and they can't give you an appointment within 30 days, they have this thing called community care. Community care. And what do? Well, you're allowed, you go out into a local hospital or whatever to get that thing done, right? So you don't have to wait 30 days. This is a new program, so I'm giving them credit for this, but here's how it went for me. I had to get an MRI on both hands and both feet because the pain, everything's reached my tendons and my ligaments, and it's very bad, and so they're trying to check to see if there's something they need to do, like, immediately. They tell me, they call me, they say, we can't get you in. The next time for MRI for your hands is 71 days, and for your feet is 83 days out. That's the next available time for me to get it through the VA. So what did they tell me? We're going to do community care. And they said, we are going to contact local, places with MRIs, and we are going to have them reach out to you. Thank you. 9 days later, I had to go to the VA for something else. I still hadn't gotten called out to. I go back to that department. I say, were they supposed to call, whatever? Oh, I don't know. We'll reach community care. They call the community care. That day, I get a call from a local place called Acumen or something like this, right? This has been 10 days now. They tell me, we'd like to schedule you. Okay, we have something tomorrow, which is on Saturday. We can do both your hands that day, and then during the week, we can do your feet. Cool, I'll schedule it. That's on a Friday. I show up on that Saturday morning, and guess what they tell me? Oh, I'm sorry, they never sent the authorization. What? Yes, they never sent us the authorization. So I call the community care, they're closed on the weekend. I go the fuck home. Monday, I call the community care. No answer, leave a message. Tuesday, call again. Call the guy who sent the contact, sends him an email. No message. Now it's Wednesday. I'm supposed to have my other appointment. I call them before I go. Sorry, no authorization. Okay, so now we're at 14, 15 days. The following day I call, I get a hold of another lady. Oh, I'm sorry. Our contact that's been emailing you and calling you is on vacation this week. That's why he didn't respond to you. Okay. What is it you need? I need the authorization. Okay, I'll send it right over. Thank you. Call back at 4 p.m. I know this story's long, but I want you to hear this process. We still haven't received authorization. Call back, they're closed. Call back the next day, turns out that the VA has the wrong fax number for Acumen. So now they didn't reach out to me until I reached out to them. Then they got us there. They didn't send the authorization. I tell them to do it. They have the wrong fax number. Then the lady tells me, I called them to tell them I need a new fax number, but the phone number we have for them isn't in service. So now I had to ask the VA to email me the authorization, to which I then had to email to this hospital. They finally set me up. I went last night or the night before to get it done. 19 days. 19 days. And I had to do the fucking work. Then they send me to a place that has 1.6 stars. And I know why now. This is my experience getting an MRI on my hands that I can barely grip a mouse with some days because I'm going through something that is debilitating. So that's the system right now. And to the guy wanting to be a nurse there, I'm not trying to tell you not to be a nurse at the VA, but I want you to understand that depending on where you go, the turnover is like insane because here's the problem. You have a set number of doctors and more patients. And more people are getting older, getting retired, coming out, and you get overwhelmed. And what happens? Somebody says, it's not fucking worth it. Now everyone here is doubled up. And remember, unlike private practice, you don't get to charge more per person because you're seeing more clients, you make more money. No, you're capped. So somebody's going to be like, why am I making $95,000 and working fucking 100 hours a week when I could just go private and make more for less? This is not me telling you not to go to the VA. I just want you to do your research. And this is not also me trying to say this is why we can't have government-run programs. I'm just letting you know that when you have such a big program and it's political suicide to do anything about it, this is what it turns into. Now, I don't know about all the other government, the Department of Education and all this stuff. I always hear these fucking, especially Republicans, when they start running for office. Remember Rick Perry? I'm gonna get rid of the Department of Education, Department of Energy, and what's the third one? Like, they want to eliminate departments. They don't even fucking know what goes on in those departments. They've just been told, well, it's over-bloated and over. Yes, it is. They all are. Education, you can't take. Once you give something, you can't take it back. Well, you can't take money away from cool school lunches and shit like that. Like, some people would, because they're like, the way they run on it, but they don't really do anything. You know what I mean? These programs get overdone. It's not about eliminating them. It's about fixing them, but nobody wants to fix them because they don't want to be the one that gets blamed for something. And so we bloat and we bloat and we bloat. And so when you hear somebody like me say, we need to cut government spending, this is what I'm talking about. It's not cut benefits to people, but that's all you hear. It's, we are spending an ungodly amount of money on shit we have no idea. Probably all of it's going to places it shouldn't. It disappears. We overpay for shit, but we're too afraid to say anything because we don't want to get blamed for something happening, so just throw more money at it. And you can't tell somebody, R or D or I, whatever their fucking party affiliation is, that we need to fix this, because the moment you do, you're trying to starve the kids. You're killing the veterans. You're killing the farmers. You don't care about people on food stamps. You don't care about the poor. You only care about the rich. But that's a separate conversation. These things need to get fixed, but nobody wants to do it. I know there's going to be some people that are like, well, Elon Musk did, and that's what he tried to do with Doge and shit like that. I don't know what the fuck they did. Okay, nobody knows what the fuck they did. You either heard that they fucking did a great job, or they fucking, did a terrible job. We don't know what they actually did. We won't find out for years. The crazy thing about the Doge thing, minus the fact that it was Elon Musk and it was a weird, very, very, very shady fucking backdoor, like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. The funny thing is a lot of people who were upset that it was Elon Musk and his team doing it, I totally understood. But the people who got upset, especially the people on the left at the time, that was actually happening, forget that actually Obama did the same thing, right? Like this isn't a whataboutism, but I remember Obama created a similar program to, like, he was right on the money with it. He's like, there is too much goddamn bloating and overspending, and we need somebody to go in there and cut some of this shit. But what happened? Ended real quick because of the political backlash. Doge, the same thing. They started doing it, whether they were doing it right or wrong, they were doing it. And eventually Congress was like, yo, dude, you need to, you know what? No, you need to stop. Like, enough. Because you're cutting spending on things that are going to hurt me in my next reelection. And so, remember, I'm just giving you a scratch the surface of when somebody like me who follows money and watches this stuff and has no fucking agenda to push and no fucking affiliation, this is how we get to these situations. Times this by every government department, right? And I'm not like, get rid of these departments or cut the government. So government's a very big necessity. But we bloat these things because as politicians and as people, everybody's so divisive that it's like, you can't take anything away. Anytime somebody says, let's cut spending, okay, where do you want to cut it? How about we cut it here? Oh, so you want to do this? Well, what about we cut here? Oh, so you want that? So you get, and we never get anywhere. And then those same people that shit on you for that will say, we need to stop government spending. We're out of control. Like, what? Yeah, we need to tax the billionaires and shit like that. Like, okay, you're right, but that has nothing to do with our spending. Well, you need to stop. You need to cut it from them goddamn fucking programs for all those goddamn illegals, and maybe that. Okay, sure. What? Okay, but what does that have to do with our? But no. But what about the rest of it? Like, what are you guys talking about? Taxing the rich and deporting the illegals. That's great, guys. Good shut for you. No. I'm not saying that. No. I'm saying, like, great. If you think that that's the solving of the problem, fine. Fuck it. Whatever. I think you're both idiots. You don't understand how money works, but whatever. But that's not how you're. This is the thing. They got you focused over here. Taxing billionaires and deporting illegals. These are the two solutions that you have been given and told and focused on. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Not you guys, but the right and the left. Tell me I'm wrong. That's the narrative that has been pushed. If you're on the left, we fix the economy by taxing billionaires and go after corporations. If you're on the right, deport illegals and cut spending on abused programs like food stamps and bullshit like that. That's where we are right now. Those are distractions.